So there's this guy called Cassian, or Casa. You may remember him from this one movie, but this story is 5 years before that. Anyway, this guy is pretty cool. He wears a trench coat, walks in the rain, asks about his sister at brothels, and... Wait, what? Oh, apparently he hasn't seen her since they were young, and this is the only lead he has to find her, but still, kinda weird, man.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Anyway, he rizzed up the bartender, and this pissed off 2 cops, so they followed him outside, and one of them is dead, and now they're both dead. I wonder if this will be the catalyst for a course of events that leads to highly significant events in the history of the galaxy. Well, just to be safe, he heads back home to the small town he lives in, and gets his employed friend to cover for him by saying, "Hey man, remember last night when I was at your place drinking and definitely not killing 2 cops on a different planet? Hey man, that's kinda based actually. ACAB, am I right? Thanks bro, I knew I could count on you." Well, he should be on the clear now, as long as some guy with a hard-on for authority doesn't go investigating. "Hi there, my name is Cyril Karn. I love authority, and I'm investigating the murder of 2 security officers." His boss tells him to drop it, but this guy is so crazy he actually wants to do more work than what he's paid for. But back to Cassian for now. He goes to talk to his not-girlfriend Bix, so he can ask her to help him sell his stolen Imperial thingamajig to the guy who buys stolen Imperial thingamajigs. She reluctantly agrees, and goes to the special telegram machine to send the message. But her current boyfriend Tim with 2 M's gets pissy, seeing her talk to other, more attractive men, but she reassures him by having sex. There's no joke here, they just actually have sex. I know, in a Star Wars show. Anyway, he's still not convinced, so when Stick-Up-His-Butt guy puts out a wanted poster for a guy who looks like Cassian, Tim snitches. But now that guy who buys stolen Imperial thingamajigs is here, and he meets with Cassian to buy the stolen Imperial thingamajig. But the guy, named Luthen, would rather have Cassian come with him to actually fight the Empire, for real. Cassian doesn't want to, but the cops are here, so I guess it's time to blow things up and ruin this guy's career. Now he's forced to eat cereal with his mom and work in an office while his nemesis is running free. Speaking of which, Cassian joins with a group of rebels planning a raid on an Imperial facility that looks like a dam in Scotland. He meets Leader Lady, Writer Kid, definitely not a Stormtrooper guy, Quiet Lady, Spy Guy, and the Thing. But back to Luthen, and we learn how he uses his Star Wars memorabilia shop as a front for his rebel operations, which Mon Mothma may or may not be a part of. Don't tell the feds. You remember Mommy Mothma, right? She's one of like, maybe 6 redheads in Star Wars, so you better. Anyway, her family hates her. And the Senate hates her. Actually, most people hate her, but that's fine, because that's how she hides the fact that she's secretly a rebel. But for now, it's heist time. The gang breaks into the base during a holiday celebrated by the natives the Empire drove off the land. This gives them the perfect opportunity, so I'm sure nothing will go wrong, and... oh, now they're shooting. During this robbery, both of the black guys are shot and killed. What did Disney mean by this? Also, the Writer Kid is crushed by the weight of money. This isn't a joke, I just wanted to make sure you all understand the symbolism. Cassian talks with the Thing, and he says that they could both just take the money for themselves and split, but Cassian is a good guy, so he murders him. Leader Lady gives Cassian his cut of the money and the Writer Kid's manifesto, so he takes off. This will become important later. But this heist really pissed off the Imperial Security Bureau, especially one Dedra Miro, who breaks down gender barriers by proving that women can be fascist too. Now she's trying to figure out who all these rebels are so she can get that sweet promotion to assistant middle manager. Mon Mothma throws a party at her place, which is really just so she can get this banker guy to help her launder money for the rebels. And Leader Lady meets with Layla, not Leia, to discuss how Cassian needs to die now because he knows too much. Cassian goes back home to his mommy, who I forgot to mention adopted him when he was a small child living with a bunch of other kids on his home planet. Which is still a bit of a mystery, I hope Season 2 expands on this. He tries to convince her to leave with him to go to Beach Planet, but she refuses and says a line that makes me cry. Serial hates his new job, so he keeps calling the ISB until Yennefer shows up to tell him to stop doing that. He tells her about Cassian Andor, but you can't help but notice the awkward sexual tension between the two. So Cassian goes to Beach Planet and walks around while some dudes are running from the Are You Sure troopers. Starkiller stops Cassian and arrests him because he looks suspicious. This lands him with 6 years in prison. This show is as subtle as a brick through a window with its messaging sometimes. Turns out whoever runs this prison has a foot fetish because all the prisoners walk around barefoot. They're all forced to work 12-hour shifts making the same part over and over and over, and eat food out of a tube. But at least they get free bathroom breaks, so it's better than working on an Amazon warehouse at least. Also, Andy Serkis is here, and I couldn't decide on which funny name to call him. I could go with Gollum, Caesar, Snoke, Alfred, I mean take your pick. Anyway, his actual character name is Kino, because anytime he's on screen it's absolute cinema. But while Cassian is in prison, his mom is busy dying, for plot reasons. The ISB decides to try and use this to find Cassian, so Dedra goes to Ferrix State University to interrogate Bix.
Are you a fish?
To get information about Cassian, she forces her to wear these headphones that play the most unimaginably horrible sounds that no person should ever be subjected to. Also known as Morgan Wallen's music. Back in the prison, Cassian tries to convince Kino to share information that would help them escape, but all their conversations go something like this.
How many guards on each level? Bro, shut up, you're going to get us in trouble. How many guards on each level? Just a few more shifts and I'll be out of here. Just a few more shifts.
Hi, I'm the doctor, and I just found out they're never letting any of us leave.
How many guards on each level?
Never more than 12. This leads to a sequence that is so good I can't even make a joke about it. It's so peak. They pull off a brilliant plan to escape and free all the prisoners, with Keanu leading the charge saying, "One way out!" only to reveal that he can't swim, dooming him to die. He led others to a chance at freedom he knew he could never have for himself, but he did it anyway. And then, Luthen gives a monologue that it gives me chills every time, and... Okay, sorry, yeah, I'll go back to making jokes now. Luthen then goes to discuss plans with everyone's favorite terrorist, Saw Gerrera, to talk about the greater good.
Well, the greater good.
How can this be for the greater good? Shut it!
Oh, and Cassian learns that his mom is dead. Then Moth Mama sets up her teenage daughter with the teenage son of this creepy guy so that she can keep laundering money for the rebellion. Yeah, a lot happens in this show. Try to keep up, alright? Cassian makes it back home again and finally gets around to listening to that writer kid's audiobook. This and his time in prison helped him realize that maybe the Empire is actually pretty bad. The next day is the funeral for Mama Andor, and basically everyone shows up in the hopes that Cassian will be there, because Dedra and the Empire want to capture him, and Luthen and the rebels want to kill him. I mean, geez, he's just one guy. They're all acting like he said he likes The Last Jedi or something. Anyway, Marve gives a speech that she recorded before she died, and everyone gathers to listen as she tells them all to fight the Empire, who just so happen to be currently within fighting range. Then this guy throws a pipe bomb and all hell breaks loose. Cassian rushes to save Bix and gets her to safety with their other friends. Meanwhile, Cyril rescues Dedra from a crowd of people, and then they sloppily make out and... wait, that doesn't happen? Oh, well, it better happen in Season 2. But after all the chaos, Cassian goes to Luthen's ship and asks him to kill me. Or take me in. And now he's off to become a rebel. Some would even call him a rogue one. So that's it. Now you're all caught up on Andor Season 1, and you're ready for when peak Star Wars returns on April 22nd.